Hello all you whiskey lovers, this is Mark from WhiskyWhistle bringing you whiskey review number 18. With us today is Glendronach and well, their famous 15-year-old, which has won many awards. So let's find out why. First of all, I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine named Rory. Rory Wright, if you're watching, this one is for you. You recommended this bottle and today I'm going to review it. Okay, so we're going to taste it, well, smell it and taste it, and then we'll talk a little bit about the distillery. Okay, so first of all, why don't we, well, just pour a quick glass and let that sit for a few minutes. This is 15 years old. It's known as Revival, and it's exclusively matured in, well, here it says the finest Spanish Oloroso sherry casks. I'll bring that a little closer for you to see. Now I've got the window open, it's a little warm in here, so if you hear some background noise, sorry about that. Okay, so let's pour a healthy glass. Ooh, it's quite a healthy one. I've got another one sitting there that's been there for about 20 minutes so we can compare how time in the glass changes the flavors. Okay. Now, if you're in Korea, you can find this at a couple of places, and if you're interested, you can send me a message. If you are in Canada, look at your local liquor commission stores. It should be widely available. And I think in Canada, the price is roughly around $100, give or take. Here in Korea, it's quite a bit more. I certainly paid a hefty price for this one, but, well, I'd say it's worth it anyway. So let's see how the nose is, right fresh from the bottle, neat. And it's 46%. It's not chill filtered, so this is great. And given the fact that this has been aged completely in sherry casks, I doubt there's any colorant added. Let's hope not. It doesn't say so on the bottle or the canister. Of course, that's where it would be legally binding for the company. So let's hope they update their labels to let us know that this is definitely natural color. Sure hope so. This is a deep amber, which is typical for something that is matured in sherry casks. So that's how you get that nice hue. We'll call that maybe an amber +2. Okay, so on the nose, of course, you're going to smell some sherry and also some typical oak notes. Even though this is sherry, which comes from Spain, the wood they use could be American oak. It may also be Spanish oak. I think we'll find out more on the label there when we look at it. Okay, so according to my notes, which I just took, I just want to make sure I don't forget what I wanted to share with you. I'm smelling dried fruits, okay, and something kind of like Cadbury's fruit and nut. At least the old version, apparently that's gone under a reformulation. Let's hope it's still good. They've added sultanas, I believe. There's been quite a little bit of heat on Cadbury for that. Raisins, of course, vanilla, which comes from the oak casks. Toffee, so something kind of like a, I'm going to close that door, it's really bothering me. Someone must be having a shower upstairs. Okay, sorry about that. So toffee, some milk chocolate also on the nose. So quite nice. There's absolutely nothing that I don't like about this nose. No wonder it's gotten lots of awards. How about the taste? Neat. It starts off sweet. You get a little bit of the sourness tang from the sherry. Sherry, which is a fortified red wine, or white wine, depending on the kind of sherry. There's a little bit of a herbal note there. Rosemary is the note that I'm noticing. And what I'm left with after I've swallowed in the finish, the aftertaste, some licorice notes. and still some remnants of dark raisins left in my mouth. And it is somewhat dry, not so much so. So you get a little bit of astringency, but anyway, it's wonderfully put together. Now, let's see what happens when we put a little bit of water in there. I'm guessing that's about 20 to 25 milliliters, 46%. I'm going to add one healthy teaspoon, about 5 milliliters. And we will give that a little bit of a roll around the glass. Let it mix up a little bit. While it's mixing, why don't we have a look at the label a little more closely. So I've read the front already. Now here it lists, by the way, the founder, James Allardyce, excuse me, so the founder of the Glendronach distillery, and it was founded in 1826. Excuse me, on the back of the label, we see some tasting notes. Appearance, deep gold with a lovely mahogany heart. Nose, incredible concentration of aromas. Treacle toffee and chocolate orange. Nutty notes and vanilla. Interesting. Palate, a very dynamic and full-bodied dram. Chewy with coffee, chocolate, and treacle scones. Finish, a veritable feast to enliven the senses. Okay. And the location, by the way, this is a Highland single malt. I had to double check that. And this is in Forgue by Huntly, Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Okay, and how about on the canister? Let's have a quick look at that. Something a little bit about James Allardyce there. I'll leave that for you to read. Oh, my apologies. This does say natural color right here on the canister. It does not say so on the bottle. Wish it did, but I shouldn't be too picky. So to the fine people at Glendronach, my apologies. Natural color, completely natural color. What a big blunder that was. But like I say, I didn't think that it had. I just wondered why it wasn't on the bottle. So here it is on the canister, natural color. So you can have a look at that. You see that there? Okay. So we got that straight. My apologies once more. And I will not stop and redo this one. Okay, so on the back we see a little bit about the distillery. The Glendronach distillery in the Forgue Valley in Aberdeenshire is named after the source of its water, the Dronach Burn. It has a history of enterprising owners, from the flamboyant James Allardyce to the ambitious Walter Scott. Although times have moved on, the process used to create the Glendronach have remained largely unchanged. Today's malt is created using Great Oregon pine washbacks and the same shape stills used in 1826. So there you have it. Now this is an independent distillery, by the way. We'll talk a little bit about that. It is currently owned by the Benriach Distillery Company, which is another very fine single malt from Scotland. So they own Glendronach, and they run, of course they run them separately, and they run it old school. They have their own floor maltings, and they have 4 stills, 2 wash and 2 spirit stills. It's a medium-sized distillery as far as their output, 1.3 million liters of pure alcohol per year. So quite a lot, enough that, again, it's pretty easy to find Glendronach wherever you are. It is associated, well, was actually purchased by Teachers and Sons, which is a blended Scotch whiskey. So that was, they purchased Glendronach in the 1960s, and then it passed through a few hands, one of which was, I believe, Chivas Brothers, or Pernod Ricard, one of the other, the same company in fact, and then finally to Benriach, who are doing a very great job with it. So hats off to them. One of the people that you see rolling through on the screen there is the master blender, Billy Walker. Now he's employed by the Benriach Distillery Company, but he's in charge of all of the products at Glendronach as well. He is a organic chemist by trade, and is doing a fantastic job with this one. Anyway, let's see how water does to the taste and the smell and the taste of this whiskey. The sherry actually comes a little bit more to the forefront with water, and the toffee note really comes to the foreground, so it's actually much sweeter with water added on the nose. And same great dried fruit notes and the chocolate that I mentioned. Oh, cheers to Rory and to Mr. Dr. Billy Walker. Thank you very much, sir, for your fine work. I think that you will like this more with a little bit of water added. So for those of you die-hard neat drinkers, try just a drop of water, you know, 1 droplet or maybe 2 droplets to a standard size glass, and just see how it changes. Give it some time though. When you add water, first of all, it does set off a little bit of a kind of a chain reaction in the actual natural chemicals in the whiskey, and you may get a little bit too much of a strong spirit smell at first. So give it some time, okay? I find with water it becomes quite buttery, and something like a pineapple cake, pineapple crumble cake comes in there. You know, the one where you bake it in the oven, you put some brown sugar topping on top, a little bit of cinnamon in there, and then you put a little bit of butter on your cake before you eat it. Certainly not that healthy, but it does taste very good. Anyway, so I'm getting a little bit of this kind of a pineapple cake note added into the taste of Glendronach with water. Finish is largely unchanged. It is somewhat dry in a lovely way, in fact, and very, very cleanly made. This is a top drawer whiskey, something that I will try to, well, hopefully keep on the shelf, although I may have to get it while I am en route to Canada or here or there. So anyway, let's check out the other glass. So this one's been sitting for about 20 minutes or so. And you really get the sherry, boy, just big sherry. This kind of a single malt whiskey from Scotland is also known as a sherry monster. So this is Glendronach Sherry Monster, and definitely worth taking your time with that one. Pour a little glass like I have, let it sit for a while. And there's something else in there, a little bit of a herbal note. I mentioned rosemary, but also some sweeter herbal notes as well. Something sweet, kind of like nutmeg, is coming through there with time. Probably no different in the flavor. I should taste it neat as well. You cannot go wrong with this bottle, I tell you. Glendronach Revival 15-year-old Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. This I'm going to give a mark right now of 92 out of 100. So probably close to one of the best I've had before. I have another bottle of Glendronach somewhere tucked away, which will remain for quite a while. It's one of their single cask expressions. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll open that one, or I may save it for when my children are of age and have it with them. So who knows? Anyway, now I think at the very beginning I forgot to mention. First of all, my name is Mark, and I'm doing WhiskyWhistle. This is my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Facebook at WhiskyWhistle, Twitter at WhiskyWhistle, For the Korean viewers, there's a Naver blog also titled Whiskey Whistle. You can look for that. And many of you may be wondering about this furry creature on my nose. Well, this is November, which has now become known as Movember for many people in the Western world. And I have actually joined Movember Canada. And if you would like to make a donation to the Movember Foundation, please do so. I will put the address, the contact information as a note here on YouTube, and you can also look at Facebook. Just search Whiskey Whistle, no E on whiskey, and just one word, Whiskey Whistle, and you'll find me. Okay. Anyway, Glendronach Revival, 92 out of 100, and thanks everyone for tuning in. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and that way you'll keep up to date with all the Whiskey Whistles. Okay. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.